Welcome to Education and More's Learn Python 3 Programming at a Snail's Pace. My name is Marcus Gardner and I'm the instructor for this class. In today's video, we're going to talk about making a test. And I am in location in the Philippines, which is why you can see the background is different. Sorry, I'm renting an apartment and I don't have a background border. But anyway, should be okay. This is going to be a rather long video, so we're going to break it up into either 2 or 3 videos, so you don't get too tired watching the video. We're going to take states and the abbreviations and create a test. This will be a variation on the homework that you need to do. Your homework is going to take the state, abbreviation, and capitals. So you're going to be able to do all 6 combinations. Okay? Me, I'm going to do state, and then abbreviation, abbreviation, state. And then, of course, random, which means one test can do both at the same time. Okay, so let's get to it. We're going to use lists. Okay, so powerful that lists are. All right, so step 1 is to plan exactly what you want to accomplish. Okay, so what do I want to do? I want to offer 3 different tests. 1, I give you the state, you type in the abbreviation. 2, I give you the abbreviation and you type in the state. And 3, random. For example, the first question could be state, abbreviation. Second question could be state, abbreviation. Third question could be abbreviation, state. Okay, so just totally random. And then I also want to keep asking until I know that they are all correct. Okay, so I need a way to know when to ask a certain question again or not. For example, let's say I'm doing this test, state to abbreviation. Okay, the computer has just asked me, what is the abbreviation for Alabama? And I type in AL. And then it says correct. So it needs a way to mark it. Hey, he got it right. Let's not ask that question again. Okay? So we need to be able to do that somehow. All right. But I also want to keep track of how many times I tried it. So I can't just delete it when I'm done. Okay? So I got to do something so I can keep the data, but make sure I don't ask the question again. So this is where your thought process is going to have to come in and say, well, how do I do this? What do I need to do? Okay? And then I finally want to give some type of score. For example, if I'm doing the state to abbreviation only, okay, there's 50 questions. If I get done in 50, you're going to say, boy, you're a genius. If I get done in 100, you're going to say, oh my gosh, you're so stupid. You must be Marcus. Sorry, I'm not good in geography. And that's why when I take this test on video, I'm only going to do 5. So you don't see how bad I am at geography. Okay. Anyway, so again, if it's just for you, you can make the comments as derogatory as you want, as funny as you want, okay? But you don't want to say something like you're stupid to a customer, okay? They're not going to be too happy about that. All right. Step 2, find the right website to get the data that you need, okay? Don't copy, download it, okay? Now, this is opposite of what they teach you in school, okay? For example, you're doing a history report. They say, do not copy. But when you're doing something like this for programming, copy, okay? So, the very first thing that you need to do is use Google or whatever search web engine that you want to use and find a website that will give you the state abbreviation, the state, and capital. Now, for this video I'm doing, I don't need the capital. But for your homework, you need the capital. So, try to figure out what what search you're going to do, and then find the information. Now, one of the things you're going to find is that you are not going to be able to get just what you want. Okay? So most of the time, you're going to get what you want plus a bunch of other stuff you don't care about. Okay? So it's your duty to get your data, throw everything else away. Okay? All right. So what I'd like you to do is pause the video. If you're a good student, you will listen to me. Pause the video. Find that data. Preferably either an Excel spreadsheet or a comma delimited file, which is called a CSV file. So remember, I told you how to do that search in Google. So try to find that data. So I'll give you a few seconds here and see if you can figure it out. Are you going to pause it? Probably not. Okay. Anyway, hopefully you did. Show me wrong. Okay. Anyway, so what I did is I typed in United States, state abbreviations and capitals, and I did file type XLS, which means Excel spreadsheet. The older version, that's okay. Now, I could have put CVS here, okay? CSV, okay? That is the comma delimited file. All right. So you go down here, and you might want to check which one, and then, download Excel file, list of state capitals of the United States. And look here, list of abbreviations and states. Oh, this is probably going to give me everything I want, plus other stuff. So I click on that, and I get this. Oh, look, XLSX. PDF, I don't care about. CSV, oh yes, that's wonderful. Okay, but let me just show you what it looks like in Excel format. Okay, so as you can see, a whole bunch of data, but it has our state, it has our abbreviation, and it has the capital, which you will need. You need to get rid of all this other stuff. Now, before we get started on what to do, first thing you need to understand is that when you get data off the internet, sometimes it's not correct. Let's take a look. These are population, municipal, and metropolis. Let's take a look at Colorado. 25 million. I don't think so. For a city. I don't even know if the state has that many people. Okay, but look at this 25 million. Look what they did. 25 million, 52,000 without a zero, 195. You know, I really think this is probably 2,552,195. Okay, another one. Take a look at New York. I really think that New York City has more than 97,000 people. I may be wrong, but I don't think so. Unless everybody went, abandoned the city, I think there's more than 97,000. Okay, so this data is all messed up. But we're going to pretend that the state name, the abbreviation, and the capital is all correct. Okay? We're going to hope it is. All right. Now, the other thing we need to look at, which is more important, is where does the data start? It starts on line 3. So we need some way of deleting the first 2 lines of data. And then take a look at the bottom. Always look at the bottom. These lines need to go away. Okay? So anything past line 52 needs to go away. So we got some work to do. Okay? All right. So anyway, here's the website. You don't need it. But anyway, I've already shown you on Google what to do. All right, next, let me show you what it looks like as a CSV file. Your Notepad++ will load in the Excel spreadsheet as long as you save it as a CSV, and you'll see the commas. And so this is the exact same file. Notice a whole bunch of junk here. Okay, so again, we need to get rid of the first two lines and the bottom. All right, so that is the CSV file. All right, so let's see here. Step 3, decide how you would design the data. This is the very most important part, in my opinion. Okay, because without knowing how you're going to design the data, it's just going to be a mess. Okay, so the first thing I thought of, I did think of this, but after thinking about it, I said, I don't like it, is to create a big list. That part's fine. I do want that. Maybe state abbreviation and then state. And then this is 0. This 0 is the count of the tries from abbreviation to state. This 0, the second 0, in case you can't see the mouse pointer, is the count of the number of tries from Alabama to AL. Now this third 0 tells me that it's still active. I've not finished this question yet from going from abbreviation to state. This fourth 0 says I'm not done with this one going from Alabama to AL. Once I got it correct, then I'll make one of these a 1. And then if I get it correct going the other way, I'll make the other one a 1. And then I go back and select it and say, is this a 1? Yes, okay, skip it, find the next one. Is this a 1? Skip it, find the next one, etc. Now that is a bad design. Why? Because I'm going to be asking over and over and over. And especially if I do this randomly, okay, it could keep repeating the ones that have already been selected many times, wasting steps of the program. Now, granted, for 50 questions, not a problem, okay? It doesn't matter repeating. Even if there are 50 states and only one of them is left for me to ask, I may get, 1,000 times before I finally get that one, and it can do it in the blink of an eye. But it's a bad design. So we shouldn't do it that way. So I came up with another method. So let me show you what I did. I broke it up into 3 lists. First one, same. 0 is the number of counts going from this abbreviation to the state. This 0, number of counts from Alabama, from the state to the abbreviation. And then I created 2 more lists which look to be identical. They are identical. All right, so this tells me which questions are still available from state to abbreviation. This one tells me which questions are available from abbreviation to state. Now, at first glance, it looks like it may be a little confusing, okay? Well, 0 is the very first one, Alabama. 49, the last one, Wyoming. So what I'm going to do, my first question here, is I'm going to randomly pick a number between 0 and 50. Okay, actually between 0 and 49. Because remember, random int actually does the very last number also. That's something a little strange, but anyway. So we're going to choose a random number between 0 and 49. So let's say it chooses number 3. So that's going to give me the 4th state. No, I don't know what the 4th state is. Oh, wait, I have the data in front of me. The 4th state is Arkansas. So let's say that I'm doing the state to abbreviation. And the 3rd question, or number 3 rather, which is the 4th question, is what is the abbreviation for Arkansas? And I actually don't know that most of the time when I take this test. It's AR. Let's say I got it right. Then I don't really want to pop because I don't care what number I'm popping. I don't care about the 3. So I'm going to delete. I'm going to delete this 3 from that first piece of list. But before that, I am going to update the fourth item in the list of the Arkansas AR and say, yes, I have done it once. Okay? Now, it doesn't show on this list whether I'm finished or not, but that's why I'm going to pop it from this one. Okay? So the next time, well, it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So even though it is this 4 now is not the fourth one in here, it's the fifth one. I mean, the 4, okay, is the fifth state, but it is number 4 in the list here. So that way I can take this number I find, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. I take this number that I find and go into this list and find that state. So let me make it a little bit easier. Let's say I choose 0. It's going to go to Alabama, and then it's going to mark this 1, whether I get it right or wrong, okay, and say I have done this once. If it comes up again, let's say I get it wrong, it's going to make this 2. Again, I got it wrong again. I get 3. Now let's say I get it right. It's going to make this 4, and then it's going to scratch this 0. Going to delete it. Bye-bye. Okay? So now the first item here is a 1. So that way I'll never be asked this question again. I'm going to be asked Alaska as possibly next one. Okay? Remember, it's not going to go in order. I want to do it random. Okay? So if I'm going state to abbreviation and the length of this is 0, then I'm finished. Okay? So I'm going to keep going. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the file. Okay, I've actually already shown it to you. All right. And we're going to load it. And we're going to make those other lists. Okay? All right. So now this part is easy, hopefully. You've already done it. All right, I don't need this Excel spreadsheet anymore. Go ahead and minimize it though, just in case I've mistaken. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, I've already created a lesson20.py file for you, is I'm going to read the file. So let's just call it read file. Okay, so that means that I need to create a function, define read file. Okay, and what am I going to do? I am going to say, well, we need a file handler, and equals open, and the name of the file. What did I name this? I named it list.state dash capitals, even though I am not going to use capitals. It's for you. Okay. All right. So that is what I called it. Remember to always store it in the same directory that your Python file is in. Okay. Later on, much later, I'm going to show you how to deal with it if it's in another directory. Okay. All right. I'm going to create 3 lists. The third list I'm going to do a little differently. I want you to see why I did it that way first. So the first off, I'm just going to call list. Okay, empty list. Next one, list of state to abbreviation. Okay, and the other one is going to be list of abbreviation to state. But let's take a look at what I need to do here. Notice these two are the same. So I can do list of abbreviation to AB as the same thing here. But what I'm going to do is at the very end, I'm going to say list of abbreviation to state is equal to list of state to abbreviation. Okay? It's a cheating method. We approve of cheating. All right. So that is what I'm going to do. So what do I need to do? Note what I'm doing here. This 0 is the very first state. 1 is the next state. It's off by 1 because it's 0 based all the way up to 49. Okay, it is possible I could have started with 1. I didn't want to. I just prefer keeping it as it is. All right. So I need to know a counter. So I'm going to create a counter equals 0. Okay. And then how do you do that? For line in file handler. Okay. I'm going to do CT equals CT plus 1. Now, remember, I don't want every line. So I pause the video and write the next line of code. Okay, remember, I don't want, let me just show you again. I don't want these first 2 lines. These first 2 lines. I don't want it. And I don't want anything after line 52. Okay? So, what do I need to do? What is my next line here? Please pause the video and see if you can figure out that next line. Dun, dun, dun. Give you time to pause. Will you do it? No, you're not going to pause. You're going to just see what the answer is. I'm sure you will. Just like all my other students. Yes, I'm pessimistic. I've been teaching for so many years. Okay. Anyway, let's assume you were a good student, please. And show you what your answer should have been. You should say, if CT is greater than 2 and CT is less than 53, okay, then do something. We want to process the line. Okay, now what do we need to do? Again, let's look at the data. So we are here, first time through. We want to grab Alabama and we want to grab AL. Okay, now on this video here, I did AL and then Alabama. It doesn't matter whether you do Alabama AL or AL Alabama. It doesn't matter. Okay, you decide which way you're going to do it. Okay, but the important thing is to know how to get this data. Well, we have these commas. Okay, now it is possible we have commas other places. For example, here's a comma. Okay, so sometimes we'll need to clean the data, but in this case we don't need to because there's no commas between here and here. Of course, I don't care about this part, but you do. So you won't have to worry about cleaning the data too much. There's no extra superfluous commas in there. Okay, so what I need is I need a location of this comma and this comma to get everything between those two. And I need the location of this comma and this comma to get everything in between those two. Okay? All right. So, what I need to do is just go ahead and grab some. I need to do find. And using the find, I am going to create a string. Okay? So let me show you what I got here. I am going to do location1 is equal to line dot find, and we're going to find the first comma. Location2 is equal to line dot find. We're going to find comma, but we don't want the same comma, so we need to start the find after location 1. So the way to do that is to put location 1 plus 1. And then our last one, location 3, should be line.find the comma after location 2. So we need location 2 plus 1. Okay? All right. Then let's call data that we're going to add to our list. The data is going to be, now, again, it depends whether you want state first, then abbreviation. Okay? Let's assume you want state first. Well, let's go back. So state first is between the second column, comma, and the third. Okay? So if you want the state to go first, you're going to need to do, first off, let's make a small little, we'll add extra stuff later. Okay. We want to do location 1 plus 1. Okay. Remember, location 1's a comma. We don't want that. All the way to location 2. Remember, using this colon notation, it will not reach location 2. But what is it that I'm trying to get? This is part of what? Where's my colon? There it is. And then this is part of line. Okay? Now, this is a string. Okay? Oh, I said we want it from line location 2 to 3. Okay, there we go. And then we want line bracket location 1 plus 1 to location 2. Okay? This has to be inside of a list. So I'm creating this list. Okay? But remember, I said I wanted some 0s at the end. Okay? Down here. So I can't close it yet. So I need to put in comma 0, comma 0. Okay? And then I also, remember, I want to create this 0, 1, 2, 3. Now my counter is at 3 right now, but I want it to be 0. So what do I need to do? I want this to be, let's see, dot append. Okay. And what am I going to append? I am going to append CT minus 3. Because remember, it starts with 3, but I want 0. Okay? So list of state to abbreviation, append CT minus 3. Okay? And that should be everything, assuming I don't make any mistakes here. Okay, now, again, once I'm done, then I have this copy command that's going to copy that, and then I need to return something. Okay, well, I am reading the file and I've got these 3 lists that I'm creating, so I need to return all of those lists. So return list, return this, and then return this one. Okay? All right. So, again, we do not have to name them the same, but I'm going to anyway put that here, equals. And then I want to make sure this stuff works. Remember, I like to test one thing at a time. So I am going to print list. I am going to print this list. And then I am going to print this list. And hopefully everything worked. But we'll see what kind of mistakes I have. All right, let's try it. Python lesson 20.py. Okay. All right, this part worked fine. This part worked fine. This did not work at all. All right. So, oh yes, I forgot to append the data. That's not going to work. So list.append data. There we go. Okay. I appended the numbers for this list, but I forgot to append the data. Let's see if I did that correctly then. There we go. Let's make sure it looks okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. All right. So that worked great. Okay. So now let's look at what's next. Step 4. Look at the file, read from it. I've already done that. Load it into the list, make it a list. Okay, good. That's done. Now create the testing functions. Then decide which way to ask the questions. Well, before we do that, we need to ask the user what they want to do. Okay? All right. So I'm going to comment out these because we know they work. I don't like deleting things because maybe later on I make changes and it messes something up. I like keeping things in it so I can just uncomment and say, hey, okay, this still works fine. Let's go to the next one. Okay? But again, that's why I like testing one thing at a time, so that way I don't have that problem very often. Okay? All right, so now we're going to get the request. So I'm going to call it get request. Don't need to pass it anything, but I am going to get the request. The request is either going to be abbreviation to state, or state to abbreviation, or random. Okay, so let's go ahead and do define get request, and there we go. So I'm going to say print, let's say here, please choose one. One is abbreviation. I'm not really sure how to spell abbreviation. Is it 2 B's or 1 B? I don't know. I'll let you worry about that. Abbreviation to state. 2, state to abbreviation. And 3, random. Okay. And there we go. And now request is equal to input. Enter your choice. Okay. And return request. All right. So then I'm going to have an if statement. If request is equal to 1, do something. Elif. If request is equal to do something else, and then else do something else. Okay, I do have a problem here. Can you see what I did wrong? Okay, obviously I got to put something in here. Okay, I'm talking about something else I did wrong. Do you see? Quickly. If you need to, pause the video and give the answer. Okay. The problem is, this is a string. This is an int. This will never be true. This will never be true. So this will always be true. So, 2 ways to fix that. 1, put an int right here. Or 2, put those in quotes. Okay? All right. Now, I didn't do any type of checking of errors. So first thing you should do is make sure that, do a try except, make sure this file handler opened. Another one you should do is make sure they chose either 1, 2, or 3. Make sure they didn't choose 4. Make sure they didn't type in the word state to abbreviation or whatever. Okay? All right. So, I'm going to close the video real soon because I want you to try to finish this. All right. So, what you're going to do, inside of this space here, you are going to do a loop until this or this one, depending on whether you're 1 or 2, is empty. Okay? So you're going to go through a loop. Each time you're going to ask a question. Okay? Choose a random number. And then find the right data. You're going to ask, what is the capital of, or not the capital, what is the abbreviation of California? And then you're going to ask the user to type in an answer. If they type in CA, you're going to say correct. If they don't, you're going to say incorrect. The correct answer was CA. Okay? Same thing here. Okay? For choice 2. The opposite way. Now, else, we've got some fun. So what you got to do here is a loop while both of them are not empty. Okay? One of them could be empty. And then what you want to do is choose randomly between the two, as long as one of them is not empty. So you have to check to see if one of them is empty. You don't have to check if both are empty, because then it would already be out of that loop. So the outer loop inside of here, inside of this else, is going to say, as long as both of these lists, this one and this one, as long as both of those are not empty, then do something. So we know at least one of them is not empty. Let's say this one is empty. Okay? So that means you're always going to be asking state to abbreviation questions. If this one is empty, then you're always going to be asking abbreviation to state questions until you're done. Okay? So, it's more fun, but a little bit more challenging. So see if you can fill in those 3 pieces. For each one of these, you need to do some type of scoring. Okay? Now, when it comes to testing, we don't want to do all 50 for testing. So, right here, just for testing, I am going to say this is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. In other words, I'm only going to do the very first 5 states. Okay? When it comes for me giving the answer in the next video or the next 2 videos, I don't know how long this will take. I don't want to embarrass myself by doing all 50 states. I'm an American who doesn't know his geography very well. And it's terrible when I don't even know state to abbreviation. I've tried the first 5 states and I missed 2 of them on multiple occasions. Okay? It's embarrassing. So, to keep my embarrassment as little as possible, we're just going to do 5 states. Okay? And hopefully by the time I do the video, I will get them all 5 right. Hopefully. But the main reason why we do it is so that we can do an effective test. Okay? If we didn't abbreviate to 5, how many of you would have the stamina or the patience to test yourself over all 50? You may decide, hey, I've done 30 of these questions. I am done. Okay? Well, what if, for example, this is supposed to be 0 to 49. What if you accidentally did 0 to 50? And when you stopped at 30, you didn't test the very last one. Okay? and you would have an error in your program. Okay? So what we're doing is that this is now the new 49. Okay? Because it's going to take these items in the list, and it's the same as whether you had 100, 5,000, or 50. Okay? Because it has a beginning of the list, the middle of the list, and an end of the list. So if your complete testing works for 0 to 4, then it's going to work for 0 to 49. That's the beauty of using test cases. It's very important that you use live data in your test cases so that you know with 100% certainty that if your test cases worked, your real live data will work also. Okay? So, this is very important to understand. Okay? So now you've got test data to work with, the very first 5 states. And to try to make this program, a tester, into an effective test that has no bugs. Okay? All right. So that is your only homework to finish this program up. Okay? My next video, I will either finish it or continue on depending how long it is. I know this video is already quite long, so we may have to go 2 more videos, but hopefully we get it done in the next one. I don't know. We will see. But try your best to do this. Okay? If you have any questions, put them into the YouTube video comments. All right. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.